Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of your weekly fitness, not weekly at all, no.
Bi-weekly.
By whenever I get to it, yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of your fitness podcast with me, Coach Rupert Wilson. Today I am talking with Sylvia. We've got lots of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to cover things like joining the fire brigade. We're also going to talk about being a PT on the gym floor, finding our way into the PT fitness world. And again, all things that keep us happy in fitness, like why do we do fitness? How do we use fitness to fight mental health? And how do we get through these cold, rainy days as we're recording this in the middle of December? Not that you'll be able to tell. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about some of the fun stuff, or maybe that's been going on with you, or we go to the beginning of your story. So
let's start at the beginning.
Let's do it.
So I've always been kind of into fitness and health, but not in any structured way, wasn't kind of in any team sports or anything like that. Just enjoyed going for a run, going to the gym every now and then. I really got into it sort of in my late 20s, but it was always cardio. I was always doing cardio. I think just because I had no idea what to do with weights, and it wasn't quite as big back then as it is now for women. So I would kind of go to the gym and look at the weight section and be like, oh, that's interesting. Wouldn't really know what to do. I might kind of like sit on the adductor machine for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
and then be like, that's done.
Yeah, we call that at the gym, what was it? It's like good girl, bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not actually even that great a machine. The abductor, obviously, Jason will cut it in now. He's my editor. He'll cut in the abductor machine, but it's the one that goes in and out with the leg. And ladies just think that that's what they have to do at the gym floor, no?
Yeah, well, ladies love working on their glutes.
Yeah, glutes,
Yeah. Hip thrusters are the best for that, but yeah.
But the hip thruster wasn't as big back then. It wasn't like in every gym, maybe what?
No.
When was this like?
So this was like 10 years ago.
Set the scene, yeah?
Yeah, set the scene 10 years ago.
Right.
When would that have been like?
So before all these like mad 24-hour gyms as well, still. So it's it was the classic sort of 4 or 5 gyms at that point. So you were running.
Yeah.
And you were working. You were telling me about you had one of these great jobs that we all end up doing.
Oh God, I had the most awful job. So for some reason, I decided it'd be a good idea to be a PA, which was the worst job for me. And the guy I was working for didn't really need a PA. He just liked the idea of having one. So I would go into work and sit on the internet for 8 hours and then go home. So I was getting pretty depressed and bored, and I started doing boot camps, outside boot camps, and started looking forward to them more and more, and they ended up being the only positive thing in my life at that time, because I was in such a negative environment at work. I was so bored. I didn't really know, I knew I didn't want to be a PA, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And when I went to a boot camp, it was, it was community, it was positivity, and of course it was all the endorphins and being outside. So I started to really, really love that. So when I eventually got fired from my shit job, because I didn't turn up, I thought, what am I going to do? I really don't know. And I decided to do my PT course.
Nice.
And I was like, I could do boot camps. I can tell people to do star jumps in a field. So I did my PT course, and I never thought it would be a career. I never thought I would love it as much as I do. I just thought it would just be something to do for a little bit to keep me occupied. Still had never really been into a weights room at this point. And then I think it got to winter, and I was sort of doing a few boot camps, and the gym was getting more and more appealing.
Yeah.
So
as you're standing in a field freezing.
Yeah, I was running boot camps, I think in like Richmond and Wimbledon.
Oh, amazing.
Cheating, yeah. But I was living in Midhurst at the time, so I'd now moved out of London, back with my parents. This was not a good time in my life. And I was commuting up to do these like 2 hours of boot camps in the cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is really quite grim. So I started going into the gym, enjoying it more, and I knew that I wanted to get into the weight section, but I had no idea what to do. Despite doing my PT course, they don't really teach you much about that in your course. So I had no real knowledge about weightlifting. So I got an online coach, and through her, I learned everything that I know. I sat on YouTube for hours on end, watching, technique videos. I read up on T Nation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I literally spent about 2 years just learning, and just fell in love with weightlifting. And it really, from that time in my life where I was in such a bad place, my confidence was so low, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, it really built my confidence back up. And
so just by going, so not only were you obviously trying to be a PT in the gym, but you then started going to the gym, learning about lifting more, so that it wasn't just like circuits and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that helped you with sort of wobbles or the mental health aspects of trying to like redefine your career and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think it was twofold. It was firstly just doing the weightlifting, achieving something in the gym, getting stronger, learning the techniques like deadlifts properly and stuff like that. That gave me a sense of achievement, which I was really lacking at the time.
Right.
And it built my confidence up a lot, where it had been at rock bottom, and suddenly I was achieving things and I felt good about myself and I was getting some enjoyment out of my day. But I also realised how powerful it was being a coach and how you can change people's lives. So that made me realise, actually, this is something worthy of doing as a career, because you can change someone's life around completely.
Yeah, and that is why it's you have to see it yourself first, and then you want to share it. The small changes. So one, you've got the life as a coach. We'll talk about that in a bit. But also back to that beginning bit is like when you're lifting weights, and especially like getting those first gains and those first changes and stuff. I think you mentioned to me as well before we started that some people around us, definitely both of us as well, feel that it's an all or nothing solution. Like I can't go to the gym 5 times a week, so I'm not even going to bother going twice. Like they don't see that like they can do anything in 2 times, so they don't bother going at all. Or the fear to start as well. Like, what do you think about that?
Firstly, I think a lot of people are scared about going into gyms still because of the mentality around weightlifting, and especially women thinking that there are going to be loads of like scary meathead men in the weight section and they don't have the confidence to go into that. Whereas actually, people that you meet in the gym are the friendliest, most supportive people you will ever meet, and everybody is in the gym because they're not where they want to be. Everybody is in there because they want to improve themselves. So we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
So there definitely shouldn't be that fear of starting because you don't fit in or you don't know what you're doing, because everyone in the gym has been at that place at some point.
Yeah, and how do you help your clients, whether it's online or face-to-face, like begin that journey or get over that initial fear?
So 2 ways. I feel like they can message me for support at any time. And also like the mental side of just letting them know no one's thinking about you, everyone is thinking about themselves, just reminding them. And I think teaching the techniques as well. So with online clients, I'll use WhatsApp, I'll get them to video me, send me a video of them doing the lifts, and I will send one back letting them know. So building up that confidence. Everything I use has got videos so they can see how to correctly do the lifts. And just having a plan helps as well. So you know that you're going to go in, do your plan, and then you can go, and you're not going to be like wandering around aimlessly, wondering what to do.
Having someone in your corner as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I love that. Having a plan, something to follow by. And then what do you think about like the filming though? Because I just was speaking to a client, and she was not very confident in wanting to do filming. Like it's a tricky one, but
yeah, I mean, even I'm not that confident to do filming sometimes. I think people are going to think like, oh, could she get out the way or something, or like, who does she think she is, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I get it, but if you've just got to think of yourself and just think, if I want to learn and my coach has asked for a video of this, just screw everybody else.
I love it. I love that. I love that energy and that power.
You've got to be like that.
And then tell us about something else you do, which is pretty out there and pretty gnarly. Like, I mean, I had no idea. Like, I've done CrossFit for you for a while.
Yeah.
And obviously CrossFit has quite a big affiliation in America with the services and with the special forces, and then obviously with your emergency services.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. We were getting a coffee and you just came walking along wearing your uniform. So tell us a bit like how, we'll go back to the coaching bit, but like how on earth did you end up doing something so powerful and
I tell you what, I actually fell into it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Most people like grow up thinking like, I want to be a firefighter, and then they become a firefighter. And I literally fell into it. So I was probably like early 30s and needed a job, like just a bit of extra money. And I saw this advert on the table, this leaflet about being a firefighter. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be quite interesting. Didn't think much else of it. And then about 2 years later, I was like, okay, I really want to get like a bit of security and a bit of like a consistent income.
Yeah.
And I remembered about that leaflet that I'd seen, and I was like, oh, I think I'll just, call up my fire station and see if they need anyone.
Right.
And they did. So they got me in the next day for an interview. And when I started, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I love it. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did.
Yeah.
And then when London opened up their recruitment, I applied for that and got in for that. So.
Oh yeah, because you're not actually even in the suburbs. You're actually in the city.
Yeah.
And so, like, just again, like from a fitness point of view, was it like once you'd done your interview, did you then have to do like a sort of boot camp, like a training, like? Do you doing like 200 burpees with a gas canister on your back?
No, so the training is 12 weeks. So you do 12 weeks training, and then you're kind of on probation for 18 months. Yeah, those 12 weeks were intense.
Yeah. Seriously
intense. I think it was in the middle of COVID actually when I was doing it. So I was pretty fit anyway because I'd had all this time off running with my weights vest at home.
Yeah.
Which is just perfect for firefighter fitness because you've got your BA set, which weighs about 15 kilos, and obviously you're like running around and scrabbling about.
Wow.
So I was in the perfect fitness for that, and yeah, it was intense, a very, very sweaty 12 weeks.
And just for those of you that check you out online and like look at it, like the way your online coaching is and stuff is you're very like sort of like powerful defined woman, and then at the same time you've got wear these massive boots and then chuck this huge breathing apparatus on your back and carry hoses. It's just like it's funny how the world, most people have these conceptions and that these things that
I think most people would probably look at my Instagram and just be like, oh, standard fitness influencer type person. And also I don't show too much on my Instagram about being a firefighter. So every now and then I might post a little photo or something on a story, and people are like,
yeah,
what are those boots? Like, why are you wearing that big jacket?
Awesome. And but generally, like, so back to your fitness journey with the whole coaching thing, right? So because you just mentioned there you were doing some running during lockdown with a weights vest.
Yes, yeah.
But like, at what point with your mental health and with your fitness journey do you build time for your fitness, and like then it becomes like your ability to like constantly keep pushing yourself to be running, like to end up running with weights vests, or like how did that bit more of that story progress from like first getting into the gym floor to then being like, oh, I have to train, I love training?
I think I've always gone through like ebbs and flows, and I think that's natural. Like even now I will have times where I don't train for a week, and I'll have times where I'm loving my training, I'm loving every session.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally natural, and I think that's probably something that a lot of people don't get, is that we do go through phases where I'm not feeling my workouts, and then I'll go through phases where I love every single session. But I think probably just gradually happened, like over the years. I realised, especially when I first got into weightlifting, I had a lot of free time.
Yeah, that's true.
I had a lot of free time, so I started on the standard like 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and then it just, the more you do it, the more it becomes inbuilt part of your life, and you just, your body expects it as well.
Your body expects it, It starts to turn to concrete when you don't move for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's great to have a week off. It's nice to just relax and chill. But even then, you kind of like, oh, I could go for a little run, or I could do something. Like I train occasionally on holidays. I actually find training on holidays easier because I'm not as stressed to get to the gym or stressed to get the workout and then rush to work afterwards sometimes. I find like just having a relaxed workout on holiday, like taking
quite nice,
3 hours at the gym just to mess around.
I find as well, being a coach, I place an expectation on myself. Like I've always got to be one step ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
So I think wearing that coach hat pushes you a little bit extra as well.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, obviously sometimes, you grab your gym bag, you grab your tripod or camera, and then you're like, right, okay, I'm going to do something today. And then the first couple of bits you do, you're like, whoa, this is bad. and then you like look at your clock and you're like, oh my God, I just trained for 2 hours doing random things.
That happens when you film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're like, think like, oh, I haven't really done a proper workout today. And then you look at your Fitbit and you're like, 600 calories, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, time just gets away with you.
Yeah, and then obviously, so when you're leading people and trying to encourage them, I mean, there is just a bit of like, I think, stigma where people see online. Online we share content to like inspire, but I do find sometimes people don't find it inspiring. They find it like, oh, there is a negative to it.
They find it intimidating.
Yeah, or they find it like, oh, there they are again, training, and I'm not training,
Yeah, and I do try and be realistic and share with people that I'm not always going to love it. I mean, I remember before I went on holiday, I was just in like a real kind of slump and did not have the energy for my workouts. I carried on going to the gym, but I was dragging myself through every session. And I shared that because I think people need to realise that as coaches, we're not always loving it. We're not always operating at 100%. It's just, it is part of life.
Yeah, it's good energy flow. And then, so your recent holiday looked amazing.
It was lush. It was really, really lush, yeah.
And you also dropped your new January programme as well.
Yes. Shred with Sylvia 1.0.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you're doing some either done it before or you did it afterwards, but you also do modelling as well.
Yeah, so I got into modelling last year and I did a lot of it last year. I think that was 2021, 2022.
Okay.
And then this year didn't really do anything. It's kind of, it takes me away from the fitness a little bit.
Okay.
And it is quite hard work. And I think I'd spent a lot of time doing it. And this year I was like, okay, I really want to focus on being a coach.
Yeah. But yet the modelling, like, say for women or for it's very inspiring, the way you get to the confident with your body.
Yeah.
And like to be able to do something like that.
Definitely. And I think I kind of shared that on a reel I did recently, like 7 years ago. If you told me that I would have the confidence to go and model, I would just be like, what the hell? How? Because I was in a place where I just did not have any confidence at all. So yeah, modelling plays a part in the coaching in the sense of showing people, especially women, what you can achieve with your body through weightlifting and the confidence that you can build as well.
And what do you think about like the term muscle mummies and like these like the new muscle look? Like, what's the stigma around that, or what do you think the vibe is about that?
I don't really mind. I mean, people can just say what they want. Yeah.
I mean, it's a compliment. Really I train with I train with some people down in my gym, and it's like a new thing that like there's like 2 or 3 different types. Obviously, guys always being like super steroid taking big jack guys, and then there'll always be skinny guys that want to be bigger, and there'll always be tall guys that want to be a bit shorter. Everybody wants something a bit different. But I think like some of the thing about feminine, like being feminine and then having muscles, like that stigma's kind of disappearing now.
Yeah.
It's more like having practical muscles to be
But then it's almost going kind of the other way and getting fetishized.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the whole kind of muscle mummy and...
Oh, right.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, like what anyone says about my body. Like I'm sure and I've definitely seen a lot of men comment about, too muscly and things like that.
Really?
Yeah, and especially on some of the influencers that I follow, it's really grim. Like they'll post, a workout video or something, just trying to help people, and then you get people commenting on their body and saying how unattractive it is, and
that's mad.
It's ridiculous.
That doesn't happen to guys that much, does it? Or maybe with guys, I think they just say, he's jacked or he's on steroids. But then. That's kind of, but I think, why do people feel they have to like bully like females for like trying to change the way they look? It's just mad.
And why do people think that women work out just for the pleasure of like men's viewing? It's actually about so much more. It's about community, it's about health, it's about achievement, pushing yourself, and then there's the small aesthetic side.
Yeah. Right, so we talked about the past, we talked about body images and things like that, but looking forward to 2024 and the new year and your new shred program, what's the sort of things you're hoping to get out of 2024 and help people
So
with?
I want to help as many people as possible fall in love with weightlifting, fall in love with themselves, build their confidence, feel good about their body.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect clip there. And great. And so you're obviously inside your program. How much time do they get to they get you to chat with you, or what's the plan?
Yeah, so it is completely one-on-one. They get training, they get nutrition, they get lifestyle habits as well. So I'm really big on reducing stress and just working on yourself, giving yourself some self-care.
Yeah.
Because that really feeds into everything else. And they also get weekly check-ins with me, weekly support, and if they want to book a coaching call, they can book that on Zoom and WhatsApp support as well. So
nice. So they're pretty lucky.
Yeah, they get a lot of me, yeah.
Yeah. And your videos are great. Like, I don't know what gym it is you're training at. It's just some massive gym as well. And you do CrossFit with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we obviously have a big passion for CrossFit. I mean, what do you find that you enjoy out of doing something like CrossFit though?
So CrossFit has got two main appealing things for me. Firstly, it's learning the new techniques and lifts and skills, which I'm really bad at. So things like double unders and handstands, I'm absolutely atrocious at. So it's quite fun trying to get to grips with those. And then there's nothing that really replaces pushing yourself in a group environment. So
pushing yourself in a group environment, and it's kind of like working in a team, but you're working for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And you don't want to give up, but you can give up, but you don't want to, and you want to keep just trying to do a bit harder. And I think sometimes also as we're coaches as well, it's nice for us to go somewhere and just switch off, be told what to do, and then just
Massively,
be you versus the workout.
Yeah, and I do find New Wave is really good for that because it is a great mix of, there's a lot of coaches in there as well, a lot of PTs, so it's a great environment to push yourself, and the standard is quite high as well.
I mean, there's a lot of high, very high
there's a
standard
lot of
as
really
well.
good CrossFitters there.
But equally, as a beginning and when you first join there, you do feel it feels a bit weird at first, but then you get really welcomed by the whole community, and there's lots of fun things to do, like the crazy dress up things at Halloween and stuff, or the throwdowns and stuff. But no, I mean, CrossFit's obviously, it's not for everyone, but I definitely think it's something eventually people build towards.
Yeah, I think 2024, I definitely want to get a bit better at some of the skills.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
What's going to be your top skill then? To what? You want to get double unders?
Double unders. I don't know why I can't do them. I just can't do them. And a muscle up. I can't do
Good luck with that. I mean, are you putting the work in? Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't.
I mean, you really need to put the work in for that one.
Really?
Oh, I mean, you need to do pull-ups twice or three times a week. Yeah, in your workout routine.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so really simple would be to do all your pull-ups. As soon as you can get 3 to 5 strict pull-ups.
So I can get 10.
In a row?
Yeah.
Well, then you're not far off it. Then it must just be gymnastics for you.
It is, yeah.
So it's just the kick over. It's
the skill. I think as well, where I've had a bodybuilding background, everything I do is so strict.
Right.
So getting into that mentality of kipping and just my head's no.
And did you ever do a bodybuilding, a
competition?
Bikini show?
No. So I actually, despite doing, modelling and shredding for shoots and stuff like that, I'm not interested in doing a bodybuilding show, and I don't really agree with them. Just the whole idea of being up there on stage and being judged on your body, and some overweight, middle-aged man just being her right thigh is slightly larger than her left thigh, so that'll be a markdown.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, there are, yes, I have no idea about that world, but I mean, I do see what you mean. It's not for everyone, but so when you say shred down for the modelling, how does that work? So, I mean, I wouldn't say that I have six-pack abs year round. Yeah. So, tell us more about that.
No, definitely not. I think it's completely natural for people to put on a bit more weight over the winter seasons, and then most people will lose, a kilo or two during summer, get into bikinis and stuff like that. Right. So I definitely don't have, a shredded figure year round.
So were you shredding on holiday, or was the shoot done before that?
I think so. The shoot was after that, actually.
Yeah.
That was completely last minute. I think he was on the way to Portsmouth and asked if anyone on the way from London to Portsmouth was available to shoot tomorrow morning. And I was like, yeah, I'm literally right off the A3. Come and shoot. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. I mean, so then normally, though, what would you do in order to prepare for a shoot like that? Or what would you do to get six-pack abs? Like a jokey, like what would be Sylvia's top 3 ways to get six-pack abs for the summer?
So start tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's essential if you are serious about getting a six-pack.
So using an app to track your calories
like
and macros.
MyFitnessPal, you've got to know what's going on.
Right.
Doing some actual ab work as well.
Oh, because there's a bit of controversy about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people say abs aren't made they're made in the kitchen, not on the gym floor.
I think it makes a difference.
But what's your top? Okay, so then another top 3. What's your favourite abs workouts?
Ab workouts. Toaster bar.
Ooh,
really
nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Lying leg curls.
Ooh.
And probably hollow holds for women are great. Yeah. Really suck in your TVA.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So then we've got number 1 was track your calories and macros.
Yeah.
2, actually do some abs, right?
Yeah.
And then number 3?
I would say start manipulating water and food, because that can make a big difference. I've done water manipulation for shoots before.
What's that mean?
So I will probably about a week before massively increase my water intake, flush out any subcutaneous water.
Okay.
And then slowly drop down my water intake. And I've actually done that before when I've been at work, and
fainted.
It's been really quite challenging. I think like one of the most challenging times, it was about 3 a.m, and I was on a night shift, and I was carrying some really heavy equipment up about 13 flights of stairs in central London, and I was on about 1,200 calories and trying to drink 8 litres or 9 litres of water a day, and I was just like, this is a really, really tough moment.
And how do you keep your mind locked in at that point? Like, what's driven you? Like, that's mindset at that point. That's like David Goggins kind of like mindset.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was very unhappy about it. That's for certain.
But I mean, I did a podcast with Josh, and Josh was a fighter, MMA fighter, Muay Thai fighter, and they do extreme weight cuts.
Oh, they do, yeah.
So they'll like put boiler suits on.
I remember seeing that
jump on bikes,
Ewan McGregor documentary. Yeah. That was just like
they'll do hot towel saunas and stretch, draw all the water out of them.
So I do remember. That was. So this night shift, carrying this seriously heavy equipment up 13 flights of steps, and literally wanted to kill myself. I just said to myself, I'm not doing that again and doing a night shift, because night shifts are horrendous anyway. Yeah. And doing them when you're trying to flood your body with water, and I think I was on like under 50 grams of carbs a day or something. It's just not pleasant.
And what photo shoot was that for? Just if we do cut the photos in now, we can then say, and this was the result.
Oh yeah. So that was a photo shoot with one of my favourite photographers, Arrow Photography.
Okay.
Back in 2021, that was.
Oh, cool.
2021, yeah.
Great. Oh, well, that's awesome. I mean, that's a lot of things like you do in the fitness world. Like, it's pretty inspiring.
Thank you.
And at the same time, you just like keep trying to want to help other people as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost selfish, because I get so much pleasure out of helping other people. I think it's amazing with online coaching how you can not even meet someone or speak to them on the phone. You're just supporting them through your phone, and you can literally change their life. And it brings me so much happiness when, my clients are giving themselves so much self-care, they're feeling so much more confident, their family is benefiting because they're in a much better place. It's really
that's perfect.
amazing.
I love that. So just on those things then, because I see your eyes light up. So the other things that are important must be important to you is self-care, like
massively, yeah.
And showing up for like family and friends. So tell a bit, like, without giving away all your secrets that you give to your clients, but like, how do you think building a self-care, like, because going to the gym 3 times a week, we've covered that. Like, if you can get the confidence, we can build your confidence to get you into the gym 3 times a week. That's one part of the journey. But the other bit that builds towards that mindset of walking up 30 flights of stairs on 1,200 calories, that's really about mindset, communication, and it's got to come from some sort of self-care and like changing your brain, like thinking. So tell me a bit more about like how that affects you and how you.
So I think I genuinely, when it comes to things like that, I think, what sort of person am I? What sort of person do I want to be? So when it comes to the idea of quitting or not quitting, I'm really harsh actually on myself, and I think, who am I? Who do I want to be? And I know that I feel so much better about myself when I don't quit, and I deserve that. So that is something that I want to give to my clients, that I won't let them quit because they deserve more.
Nice. And self-care. So tell us some of the fun bits about the gym that's not in the gym, like that leads to a fitness world.
So, I mean, for example, with my clients, I work on stress, reducing stress with them. And firstly, there's a mindset part around, you are worthy of giving yourself self-care, giving yourself time and dedication. And for some people, especially for women, when we've been brought up to be people pleasers, and, you know, be kind of mothers and things like that, they're not used to giving themselves just that time, and they find it selfish. So there's a little mindset work around changing that mentality and being like, it's not selfish, it's essential.
It's not selfish, it's self-care.
Yeah,
self-care
exactly.
is not
Self-care
selfish.
is not selfish. And then small things like, I will get my clients to do one act of self-care a day. So whether it's reading a book or taking a bath or taking a walk or something like that, just something that is small and that is nice and has no kind of, it doesn't achieve anything, it's just something nice for you. I am really big on breathing exercises. I love breathing exercises for reducing stress.
Oh, I have to try some of those.
Massively, yeah. And I'm really big on getting my clients to go outside, get some walks outside, and just put themselves first, really, because I think especially women, we're so used to putting other people before us. And if you want to be the best person you can be for yourself and for your family, put yourself first every now and then.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay, so this is one thing that people obviously is big is like money, right? People's conception of money around their self-help, right? So they believe that like, right, online coaching could cost me like 200 quid a month, right? That's way too much, yeah? But what if it was 200 quid a month for say 6 months or 3 months, yeah? So you're looking at £600, £1,200 for something that could change the next 5 years of your life.
Yeah.
And then that money, if you divided that over 3 years, you're looking at like £10 a week.
It's,
you know,
I think it's hard to make people realise how worth it is, and that's why it's so good when you get great client testimonials and just get great feedback from your clients, because I know it can change your life.
Yeah.
And of course, like, it's so worth the money.
But but then also I think it's a fear. Like, people have a fear to change. People have a fear to fail. And then therefore they also have this self-negative talk that you wanted to talk about to me. You were saying, yeah,
so I think a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be really hard and I have to be really disciplined and, you know, you have to be really harsh on yourself. Whereas I am the complete opposite. I'm a massive proponent of self-care, self-compassion, and being kind to yourself. And so that's one of the mindset shifts I get my clients to look at, is when you mess up on, say, your diet, or when you don't go to the gym for a week because life has been hectic, do you beat yourself up? Or do you meet yourself with kindness and self-compassion? And actually, meeting yourself with kindness and self-compassion has been shown to get you more of the results that you want.
Yeah, and really just on that like random binge, okay? Because okay, I'm not going to confess, I've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I did it like, I've never cut shred down for a photo shoot. It doesn't fit within my sort of remit. I may try it, but I really don't have the headspace for it right now. I've got enough going on with my clients and with my family and you know, my daughter and stuff like that. But I did diet, I knew consciously that I was eating too much and that I had a bad relationship with food related to stress. So I would like binge on fish and chips and things like that in the evening, and I'd eat like what would probably be 3,000 calories maybe, like a massive piece of fish with chips, gravy, or, you know, curry sauce, stuff like that. And so I dieted more gradually, but on these like slip-ups or binges or cheat days, right? You've actually shredded down to like probably what's 8% body fat or 6?
Oh, I've no idea.
No idea, but like very low, right? In one of those times, you must have had like a slip-up, right?
So I think I've definitely got better and better, and my most recent shred, I think because I've got a bit more muscle now, I don't have to be on such low calories.
Right.
So I've been really consistent, but I will say it is a natural part of being a human, and it's very natural for a lot of people when you go on a really, really strict diet, and this is why yo-yo dieting exists.
Yeah.
Because you go on a really strict diet, it is in your biology to eat as much as possible.
Boom. Just like that. Love it. I was literally right on the hooks then. I was like right there. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so when you're on a really strict diet, there's yo-yo dieting. It's very natural to then just bounce back. And
so if you've been restricting yourself, overly restricting yourself on food, it is literally in your biology to then go and binge.
Yeah.
Because your body thinks, we haven't had food for a really long time. Here's a load of food. It looks really appealing. We need to eat it. It literally goes back to caveman times when we would go through these like starve and feast phases.
Because we were hunting for food. We didn't have food. Then fine. But just tell your clients or tell me, like, if you were to suddenly just binge in the middle of like a decent calorie deficit during the week, it's not going to destroy everything. But what destroys it is the mindset of going, right, Friday night I went out with the guys or with the girls, I had a few pints, I had a kebab, now I'm off my diet and my whole weekend's ruined. It's like, no, get back up, go for a walk, or go to the gym on Saturday and start bringing those calories back down again.
So what really helps you get back into that mentality of picking yourself up is being kind to yourself and meeting yourself with self-compassion. So rather than beating yourself up and thinking, I'm a terrible person, I can't do this, which is just going to make you eat more and drink more or whatever it is, meeting yourself with kindness and saying, it's okay, I'm human, we slip up, this is fine, I can do this, and then you'll get back on.
And what's your, so you just mentioned something that's quite big to me, is that I obviously have also another bad relationship with alcohol. Like I can't really drink anymore. It's just, I can't, like straight up, just it doesn't work for me anymore. I have that all or nothing. You know, it's like you know, and I'm like, oh, when did Rupert last have a drink? And it's like, oh, 5 days ago, and now he's in like Mexico, like on a beach or something. Like, you know what I mean? I'm definitely.
What's gonna happen.
Yeah. So, but like, what do you recommend, or what's your views on alcohol for you and for your clients?
For me, I'm okay with alcohol. I will have a gin and tonic by myself in the evening if I want one. If I don't, I won't.
Glass of wine in the bath.
Yeah, exactly.
Listening to
essential de-stressing.
Yeah.
But for my clients, I say it does have calories. Your body will need to process that alcohol rather than processing, building muscle or losing fat. So it can have a detrimental effect on your goals. But if it is really important to you to have a glass of wine with your spouse in the evening, and that's the time when you connect, then I'm never going to tell a client you can't do that. I'll just ask them to be mindful of it and
be realistic.
Yeah.
Be realistic. Like, again, these 12-week programs, and we do sell them because that's what catches people's attention and what gets people thinking. Like, also they think they can't commit for longer than 12 weeks, but the ones that do commit for longer than 12 weeks, they realize that those gradual changes,
that they've started on actually become part of their life.
Yeah, and it's easier to just like slowly make the right changes, say have a glass of wine, it's fine. But then like at the weekend be like, oh, I am going to a party, but I want to get up on Sunday and do something different, like a park run. So I won't drink for that one party. And still have a good time at the party, still go. And you don't realise that like you've catch loads of other parts of conversations, you still have a good time. And then you go for an amazing run on Sunday morning that you wouldn't have done because you would have been like, maybe like, I think that I've got no problem with drinking. I think the worst part is the hangover. It's
the apathy the next morning, not wanting to go and work out,
sit on the sofa. Yeah, amazing. All right, cool. Well, I think we've covered lots of good stuff there. We talked about obviously, your amazing challenges and things that you've done. And really just, like how you're inspiring and helping people every day. and you're getting a great buzz from that too.
Yeah.
So if there's anything, so best ways to check you out?
Instagram, Sylvia Best Fitness.
Nice. And you've got your Sylvia Shred 1.0 program running.
Yep, link in bio is available for that. Start on January the 8th.
Clever. Isn't that good as well to start on the 8th of Jan? So you could probably, buy it now, get involved now,
so you can buy it now. You can actually train for free in December. So I'll give you some free workouts so you can get your feet a little bit wet and then hit the ground running on the 8th of January.
Good. All right. And then, for the rest of you, you know how to get hold of me, and obviously enjoy listening to this, and I hope it helps. And just remember, doing anything every week is at least better than doing nothing. So just have fun, and we'll see you soon.